The coin market cap is used to summarize everything that is said in this movie. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to my station to get more XRP news and news about cryptocurrencies in general. Look at this now. xrp+ripple CLO squashes reports of a settlement and lays out the next steps. The talk about a possible settlement in the legal fight has died down since Stuart Alderati said that the ongoing SEC v. Ripple litigation is just a guess. As the SEC's complaint grew, Ripple CLO called an end to the pre-trial meeting. In the XRP community, a lot of people were hoping that the meeting would lead to a deal that would end the long court case. According to the court's order from last year, Magistrate Sarah Netburn will lead the last pre-trial meeting. For the pre-trial conference, Alderati says no. Many XRP fans were hoping that the conference would bring the case closer to a settlement, but Ripple's chief legal officer told them that wasn't going to happen. As a result of the SEC dropping all charges against Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larsson, Chairman Alderati said that the last pre-trial discussion would not happen as planned. The following steps were also talked about by the Ripple CLO as the next steps in the SEC case. It was said by Alderati that Ripple would react to the SEC's brief on remedies, which called for a $2 billion fine. A version with some changes is expected to be made public. In the end, Alderati brought up the fact that that was also when the SEC would send its answer to Ripple's objections. There is a lot of talk about settlement these days. A lot of people have talked about whether the SEC v. Ripple case should be settled or not. This happened after a settlement meeting that all the parties involved set up. Some former aficionados think that the case might be settled soon, even though no one knew when the meeting would end at press time. There was a lot of truth to these rumors before the latest SEC meeting behind closed doors on April 11th. Also well-known XRP users like Ashley Prosper made a lot of points for why the SEC vs. Ripple case is probably over. One of these points is that the release of 500 million XRP from escrow has been delayed. At the time, there were rumors among cryptocurrency buyers that Ripple was going to sell off their holdings to pay off its SEC settlement. There were meant to be 1 billion XRP coins released this month. The 500 million that were taken out of escrow were part of that amount. But because of a problem with the trust address, the system only let 500 million XRP out on April 1st. The last 500 million XRP were made available. As of Alder.oii's most recent tweet, the settlement reports have been put to rest, and all eyes are now on Ripple's response to the sexy settlement brief. According to Ripple's reading of a finding in the SEC vs. Gova lawsuit, which is based on a case from the Second Circuit, only institutional clients who lost money on their XR purchases should get their money back. If the judge rules in favor of Ripple, the company will only have to pay big investors who bought XRP when it was worth more than what it is now for disgorgement. Because of this, Ripple might not have to pay the huge $2 billion fine that the SEC wants. Ripple Labs and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission are currently suing each other over XRP. There has been talk of a possible deal, but many lawyers who are closely watching the case have been skeptical or have completely ruled it out. This new event happened because of a recent court decision that ordered Ripple to give specific financial records about its sales of XRL to institutions. This choice has unintentionally spread rumors that a settlement is about to be reached. According to a recent court order from Judge Sarah Netburn, the legal hearings will now be held 8 days later than planned. This has given Ripple more time to meet the requirements for financial exposure. A lot of guessing has been going on among onlookers about what kind of settlement might happen because of this extension. On the other hand, the date for rebuttals in the remedy stage has already been set, but there will still be a lot of uncertainty over the next few months until the story has a clear ending. Why a deal between Ripple and the SEC doesn't make sense. Lawyers in the XRP community have strongly denied the payment claims, which have been debunked by credible sources. Bill Morgan, a seasoned lawyer, stressed how important it was that compensation talks were kept private. A lot of people might not know this, but settlement talks are secret and protected by a kind of luxury. It's possible that some people won't get this. So there is no sign that a deal will ever be reached until it is reached all of a sudden. Another legal expert, Jesse Hines, agreed with Morgan and said the reports were completely false. Talk of a settlement between Ripple and the SEC is just a bunch of nonsense until and unless there is a resolution. This isn't made public, and when it is, it's usually hidden as a power play to gain advantage. Hines told them not to believe the lies. A retired securities lawyer named Mark Fogel added a bit of cynicism to the talk by making fun of the idea that there could be leaks in a case with such high stakes. At one point when I was in court with the Securities and Exchange Commission, before starting to talk about a deal, he always made sure to get in touch with an honest Twitter account. It just seemed like the right thing to do. Fogel said something that emphasized how rare it was that private information would be shared. Along with that, Morgan said that in 26 years of settlement negotiations, which included several hundred mediations as a lawyer and as a mediator, there has never been a single case of a party or lawyer breaking the without prejudice privilege that is attached to the mediation or settlement negotiations. Since the case started in December 2020, Ripple has had to deal with a lot of legal problems. The Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) has been looking into how the company sells XRP to institutions. The unstable legal climate has had a negative effect on the performance of the XRP market, but Ripple has been able to win important cases in these situations. The court's ruling that XRP is not a security and the dismissal of the SEC case against Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larsson, two executives at Ripple, are two examples. Reports say that a settlement has been made, which means that the long legal battle between Ripple Labs and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission may soon come to an end. Even with these rumblings, the price of XRP has dropped by about 3% in the last 24 hours, continuing a trend that began more than a month ago and has been going down. On the other hand, the fact that there is a settlement could be good news for buyers who are waiting for the cryptocurrency to return to its original form. The end of the case brought by the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) could lead to a rise that could happen just in time for the much-anticipated Bitcoin event. Ripple XRP wants to hit 60 cents in April, because the SEC case started at the right time, which means that Ripple and the SEC may have reached a settlement. Ripple and the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) have been in a big court case for the past few years. There have been several fights between the two groups, and the first group has always come out on top. The information given is not meant to be taken as trade advice. Before you decide to spend, read this page carefully and understand that it does not cover any losses that may happen because of your choices. We strongly suggest that you do your own study and talk to a professional who knows what they're talking about.